Hey, free thinkers. You know, my topic today is the Democrats will rather give you handouts and hand me down, but never a hand up. And I'm gonna tell you why I've come to this conclusion because they're just used to a specific voting block that they don't even care about advancing this voting block, right? They have spent millions of billions of dollars to help and assist other countries. They have spent millions of assisting the migrants, illegal migrants, to come here, give them credit cards with tens of thousands of dollars on there, even go as far as giving them money to buy homes. But where are they giving them money to buy homes? In the minority communities. They have so much relied and not even paid attention to the minority community to where they think that they could just bring a new voting block. Because I don't know where they were going with this. But they forget that this voting block is what keep them in office. Now, people, you have to understand that the reason why they are allowed to do this is because you are dependent on them. They haven't given you a hand up, they're giving you a handout and a hand down. Hand out and hand down. But they haven't given you a hand up. A lot of our minority communities are decimated with crime, poverty. There's no stores opening in some of these neighborhoods because nobody's willing to invest in these neighborhoods, and they know that, right? But they had no problem giving out. I don't know if it's a grant because it's no loan. Because if it's a loan, you would need a credit report, right? So they were willing to, on the risk of you, get another voting block within your community to finance their election. But you who have been here, they passed up on because they know that regardless to what, you're going to vote Democrat. And at some point, we have to let them know that this has to stop. The thing about it is that for us to let them know that this has to stop is that we have to be willing to no longer take these handouts. And these handouts is the social programs that they have put in place to make sure that they control you, right? Because as long as they can control you with these social programs, at any time that you don't do what they tell you to do, they can remove the social programs. And it's going to be felt and you're going to get hurt because you feel that you've been abandoned. But think about it. They already abandoned you, right? They're not even willing to invest into these neighborhoods. They're not willing to have businesses come into these neighborhoods and open stores. Now, if business starts coming into these neighborhoods and opening stores, that now leave way for you in the neighborhood to get a job where you now could take out a loan, right? They could also set up programs with all these billions of dollars that they're sending out to all these other countries. They could actually take that money and invest in America. And let's not make this about a black and white thing because there are white communities that are decimated just like black communities because they no longer invest in them. And they know that we're not going to complain about it because they just know we're going to vote Democrat. I've understand this, so I removed the limitations from myself. Me, um, as a free thinker, I have never taken any government subsidies at all. I was never on welfare. I have never collected food stamps. I've never gone to public housing. I've always made sure that I am up early in the morning providing for my family. My sons at one time was in public school and they let me know that they were not going to excel. They wanted to put my younger son on this drug called Ritalin because they say that he's has hypertension. But once we put them in private school, they were excelling. They just excelled. My youngest son read the autobiography of Malcolm X at 10 and also the ISIS papers written by Dr. Francis Cress Wells. I remember when the school called us and said to us that for us to come in, and I was saying, I hope to God I didn't make a mistake and put them in private school. But what they brought us in there to let us know is that we couldn't do their book report, and we were trying to figure out what book report. And it told us what the book reports were. And we tell them we didn't even know about a book report, but the fact that he did the book report on the autobiography of Malcolm X and the ISIS paper showed me how the difference in schools. And I say this to say, because I'm not changing the subject, because it's one and the same, is that when we put them in private school, they excel. The black community, they didn't invest in any of the schools, right? So the history that you learn is always that massa beating you, massa doing this, and so you always have this mindset that you got to get the man back. But while you're thinking you got to get the man back, the man is also giving you a handout. The man being the government, right? So the government keep you at a limit where they finance your housing, they finance your lifestyle, your food, everything, right? And there's a limit to it, because if you go above that limit, that means they're no longer going to help you. Do I feel that single mother is a burden to the society? I don't think I'm not gonna go down that road, because everybody needs help. But they never invest in a neighborhood to make sure that these single mothers have childcare where they could go out and get a better job so they could get out of these concrete prisons that they put them in. Because the kids heroes are the guys downstairs in those expensive cars, and they want to be just like them. Just like them, that's who they want to be, because that's who they see as their gods, or who they want to be like. The women in the neighborhood wants to be like whoever they see on TV. I'm not changing the subject or jumping, but I'm just showing you that they never invest in these neighborhood to show them that there's something better. What they show them that there's a limit to what you can do, and if you go above that, you're on your own. So a lot of people are scared to go above their limit because they don't want to be left out on their own. So that mindset is set into people where they're comfortable here instead of trying to figure out how do I get above this. And they know that, right? Because they'll let you know, if you try this, I will take away from you. It is the same mindset as slavery, right? That mindset is still there, that mental block that if I'm doing for you, then you have to do something for me, right? So as long as I take care of your housing, take care of your food, take care of everything else, you should be happy with whatever I give you. And people, you have to understand that at some point in life, you got to understand that you can't let them give you. You have to take it. And taking it means that you have to come above that level to show your true potentials. There are a lot of black activists. There's a lot of black entrepreneurs down in history. There's a gentleman named Roebuck. I'm going to do a piece on it because it's called Sears and Roebuck. But Roebuck was an inventor of watches that, because of his color, couldn't really get any patents. So Sears had to take over. Now, this is one of many, many, many entrepreneurs that have rise above the limit and go beyond and above to show who they are. But because we don't teach our children in school about these great entrepreneurs and these great innovators, we think that we are less than. And if you think that you're less than, then you'll never go above what you're supposed to do. But there's some, and it's not few, there's many that has arrived above their limitation and have excelled. But there's another part of society that is not willing to go above there, because since the schools not teaching them that there's something beyond this, you don't have to do this anymore. They're just stuck in that mind frame. We have to understand that at one point in life, we have to stop taking these handouts and hand downs and start exploring other ways, because they're not investing in the community to where you could buy a home in your own community, where you could open a store in your own community, where you could take care of your own community and keep the dollars in your community. So right now, because there's no stores, you don't technically pay taxes in the community. You go into other communities and you make their communities flourish, where the money stays into their neighborhood. So people, we have to, at some point in our life, stop blaming others and take responsibility, where we're going to say that you keep your social program because I want more, not less. Free thinkers.